The introspection expressed in this journal is not affiliated with nor reflects the views of any public or private entities. Let's embark on this audio adventure together. Please enjoy.
Okay. I was in the sorry.
Rising to the call, I'll give my life and all I want. Good news, everyone.
The things I do for love. Who the hell cares?
You are watching a master at work.
Rising to the call, I'll give my life and all I want.
Hello, what's good? How you doing here? Welcome to Sianye Selects, where, man, sometimes you're not always feeling great, but you gotta do it anyway. Like this, the word of the day, incredulous, an adjective of a person or their manner, unwilling or unable to believe something. Thank you, Oxford Dictionary. So, in this entry, I'm going to mention what my mindset is once I've solidified my job position and how I like to transform it a bit to properly align with my career. Because they're different. I hope some of y'all know that. I'm not a teacher or like a mentor, but you should probably just differentiate those. I'm not going to one size fits all for this. But straight up, job interviews are full of 40% omission, 27.5% policy procedure, 27.5% positive projections, and 5% of what actually happens in that shit. During the conversation, I'm absolutely asking about benefits because, man, life been kind of shitty without them. It's been trash. But I'm out here making myself taking alternative medical lifestyle and shit, man, just to feel somewhat healthy. It's this company, the Wellness Program, the Wellness Company, I'm tripping. They're good. They have pretty decent packages when it comes down to getting any emergency kits or, some prescription medication or seeing a doctor. Check them out. There's other alternative medical spots. You don't need to just go through a healthcare provider, right? Just thought maybe, you should probably know that shit too. Sometimes these benefits be ass.
Yep.
And that's why I'm saying it. No bullshit. You taking 75% out of your shit. Sometimes just to give you dental coverage that's only good for cleaning like once a year. It's ridiculous. Afterwards, we'll discuss pay and if we're finding out one of us ain't fluent in what the other thought was a good convo, it's time to go. Interview over. But likely, it'll be adequate, right? Then I think, with my current situation, is it wiser to split a substantial amount into a savings account or use that to flip another idea? Are the operations going smoothly? Are you doing more than what their resources can handle? Sometimes I've noticed better methods and employed them where I am, effectively making me a better producer, leaving others asking, what's the secret? And, when they're told, it's like, nah, they not paying me enough for that. And I'll just be like, well, you know what I'm saying? Be stuck in that shit then. I don't know what the fuck to tell you. Anything I can do to decrease my workload, I'm gonna do it. Especially just gonna make sure that I can get home quicker. It's just...
Are you there?
Does that not make sense? I feel like it makes sense. It's a smidgen. I don't know. Anyway, obviously it makes the day more efficient. Perhaps they may add a bit more, but when management notice that and they see the temperament isn't exactly stellar, because I and the rest of the team will be, pissed, to say the least, and the morale isn't completely down, then we've successfully identified how we've had to add to the company's purpose, which in turn may influence them to offer us promotions, right? If after all of what I mentioned, it's been a year or two with no real opportunity for growth, definitely jot down how, contributions led to the situation, like the current standing of production. Gather the boss's number as a reference. Apply to new positions that will further your career and solidify that spot. See if they'll allow you to start in a week or two and amicably part ways with the previous company. It sounds like a duh moment, but I guarantee you it will deem an advantageous habit in the long run, because the problem that we're having right now is the silent quitting scenario. A motherfucker will quit immediately. I've done it before. I'm not saying that I haven't done any of those things where I just slowly stop doing what I used to do and then go to bare minimum or just meet that and then have to just get the fuck on, or just be like, oh wow, I found some other shit, gone in a day type of thing. I most certainly have done it, but I believe that obviously it hasn't worked for me, and obviously it's reflecting in the economy, where employers are really just fed up to the point where these niggas had to go get robots, dog. Like, if all you had to do was be like, if all you had to do was express yourself on what you felt
Processing.
just wasn't necessarily correct for you to do as a daily task. And I'm not saying something that you are incapable of doing. Like, I'm talking about some shit that you obviously can just change. And yo, bro, listen, I really don't like the way that you speak to me in this manner. If the management doesn't really have the wherewithal to understand the social cue, or to understand or have the maturity in order to say, you know what, I agree. Obviously, you have to move on, because escalating something like that is a fine line between like ethics and professional. And then, that there goes the ethics of just human nature and the ethics of the job. And then you cannot really battle the both of those or balance them, because that's the unfortunate part of taking the personal and throwing it into the professional. And I know that sounds confusing and just outright ridiculous, and it is, just to keep it a stack. But I mean, that's just the precedent that's set, unfortunately. And it's not like one of those browbeaten, you just gotta do it until it's over. But at the same time, unless you can create some value for yourself that other individuals are seeking and need at a mass scale, then what are you really gonna do, right? So I think if you can articulate whether or not the individuals that pull their weight or don't pull their weight can understand that, and they still can't reflect on themselves and properly be in accordance with what you're saying, then bruh, it's time to move on. Find something that's more aligned with exactly with what exactly you're saying to people. Like, don't just sit there beating a dead horse, basically. And I know it's very difficult. It's easier said than done, because there are obligations that need to be taken care of, and there are people who rely on you, where there's a dream that if you just hold on just a little bit, then by all means, I'm not saying just fucking leave your job. I'm not saying, all right, well, you know what, man, fucking, like, you'll get another one. Go right out there. It's real easy right now to, like, nah. But depending on your educational status, your financial status, and even if not just like education in itself, just what what's going on out here in the street. Like, if you understand that you can go make a couple dollars with your ex's homeboy or your cousin's ex's sister or your auntie's your auntie's cousin-in-law, some rando shit. Or even if you can do where you can find flex jobs, or you can go on Upwork or somewhere where it's not necessarily so mainstream, perhaps you'll be able to use your leverage and use your knowledge, and individuals can, see you as an asset. Right now, I think it's keen to learn more about our personality towards jobs versus how we can complete the work. I think completing the work is completely easy. Like, no, I'm not saying that a 67-year-old lady that's had 3 children and, a sedentary lifestyle should go work at fucking Raymore and Flanagan or Wayfair. I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is, like, maybe she could be in HR. Like, maybe her personality is geared towards the administrative aspect of what's going on versus just the operational aspect of what's going on. Maybe you don't want to fucking think when you're at work. Perhaps you should go into operations. That's how I was when I was working for a little bit. I had to escape my life, and I had to get, I just had to fixate on shit that was just, I picked things up and I put them down. And it seemed so fucking stupid, and over time it became that way because it was just like, what am I doing? But I also just started to, I could see myself doing more than that. And plus I was doing that for 10 years. So there's only so many years that certain people, I'm not saying everybody, could do a job and be like, all right, like something's gotta give. Some individuals can stay at a job for fucking 30 years. That's a dream job, but that's just something that they know they're good at. And that's what I'm explaining to you. Find something that your personality, that your aptitude, or just your ability physically even can do, and stick with that shit. It is proving to us now that it's necessary, it's required to know. Otherwise, they have no fucking problem replacing you with a box. Let's get to haiku. Dreams eclipse reason. Rationality shimmers. Reality forms. Song of the day, Ka, we hurtin'.
I'm gonna buy me a pistol just as long as I am tall. Lord, Lord, buy me a pistol just as long as I am tall. Shoot that. So we heard back. We heard, so we heard back. We heard, so we heard back. We heard, so we heard back. Was headed to be a predicate, tired of being a subject. Not able to budge when no rates was higher than the budget. That's why we kept a grudge, more to fire it in public. Mother wish we ain't had to cover it, but acquire it and love it. From broke places, no breaks. This ain't new news. Sneakers with holes, don't suppose I'd be a goody two-shoes. Fears my mind wasn't right, just trying to tighten a few screws. You want the lines and they know what minds contain, you choose. My writing goes for every scroll, become my old adage. Since the visit strictly business, is a sermon for the parish. Embarrassed as kids had patches in our clothes and wanted cabbage. When I land, get it while you can, cause one day I'm gonna vanish. Even blind can see these signs of hurt. I'm done with getting draped, I'm trying to see behind the curtain. Put points on the board during my scoring honest, working with homage. Fulfill the promise to moms, my honest certain. Only separate quotes, just kept a note when the wicked betray. In the gutter fields, dug my heels in the sickest decay. Grew with 2 brothers, one stayed on base, other pitching away. And true, they folks knew, they both wasn't with us to stay. For them to appreciate my verse, I'm the type that gotta die first. We ain't know when we seen home was nothing outside worse. That's why I don't like performing these songs, cause every line hurts. We heard, so we heard back. We heard, so we heard back. Slept in dirt, I ain't scared of no dirt nights. We heard, so we heard back. first fact. We heard it, so we heard back. Slept in third, we scared of no third back. That's the first fact. Yeah.